So we're going to save the money. We're going to bring in a law requiring the government find $1 of savings for every new dollar of unbudgeted spending so that we can cap the cost of government while taxpayers and the economy catch up. Second thing we're going to do, we're going to restore the Bank of Canada's traditional mandate, which is to protect the value of our money, not print cash for politicians to spend. We're going to do to counter adjust inflation is we're going to axe the carbon tax. So we can make gasoline, home heating, and other essential energy more affordable for our people. Finally, instead of just printing cash, we're going to create more of what cash buys, grow more affordable food, build more houses, and generate more Canadian energy. So that farmers can focus on working their fields and growing our food, not on filling out paperwork for bureaucrats. We're going to incentivize our municipalities to streamline building permits, get the bureaucracy out of the way. You know that we have the fewest houses per capita of any G7 country. You know why? Because it takes 7 to 10 years in many big cities to get a building permit. Meanwhile, developers carry that cost and ultimately pass it on to the home buyer. In British Columbia, Vancouver, for example, it costs $600,000 worth of government bureaucracy for every single unit of housing. I will use federal infrastructure money to pressure big city mayors to more quickly approve building permits and streamline the costs so that we can quickly build over 1 million new houses here in Canada. We will sell off 15% of Canada's, the federal government's 37,000 underutilized federal buildings so that that space can be converted into housing and the proceeds of the sale can be used to pay off Canada's national debt. In other words, stop printing money and start building houses. That's how we get our people housing. You know, speaking of building, we're going to remove the gatekeepers so that we can unleash the production of clean, green, and ethical Canadian energy again. Look around the world right now. The dictators like Putin and Maduro have been financing the attacks on their own citizens and invasions of other countries by selling oil and natural gas into markets that Canada could be serving with our marketplace. It's outrageous that we have Canadian workers who can't get paychecks because our own government has passed anti-energy laws that prevent us from harvesting our resources. That is why I have announced I will repeal the anti-energy Bill C-69 so that we can build Canadian pipelines with Canadian steel. And just yesterday, I announced a costed-out plan to unleash Canadian energy production, double oil production in Newfoundland, clear the way to move Western energy to Eastern refineries so that within 5 years we can ban overseas oil from coming into this country. They have a plan right now to raise their production from 250 barrels to 650 barrels every day. We only need to replace about 150,000 barrels from overseas. So not only can we replace all those barrels coming from Nigeria and Saudi Arabia, we'll also have a surplus that we can export to Europe to break European dependence on Putin's energy dominance on that continent. We're also going to do natural gas with 1,300 trillion cubic feet of natural gas here in Canada. I would approve the Newfoundland LNG project, which would pipe gas from the Jandark oil field right over to the coast, put it on a ship, cool it down to minus 161 degrees, because that's how you change a gas into a liquid, right? You cool it down. And we have an advantage of that, because we have a lot of cold weather. It's our most abundant natural resource, right? So we have about 40 degrees less cooling than they have to do down in the Gulf Coast. We should take advantage of that. In fact, you wouldn't believe this. I was in Saskatchewan. It was so cold, there were actually liberals there with their hands in their own pockets. Back to Newfoundland. They're going to chill that gas down to a liquid, put it on a ship, send it over to Europe, supply the Europeans with the energy they need to be independent from Putin. We're going to take dollars from dictators and turn it into paychecks for our people, aren't we? And here's something we can do for the environment. You want to drive an electric car, fine. But if the electric car is made by refining lithium into batteries in China, where they burn coal in order to generate those batteries, then you're really just exporting your pollution and your jobs and money to another country. We have lithium, cobalt, graphite, and other key minerals. The problem is it takes 7 years to get a permit to build a mine. We're going to streamline that, remove the gatekeepers, and harvest those minerals so we can make these products right here in Canada. We're going to clear the gatekeepers up the way of our newcomers. Many rural communities don't have enough doctors. How many of you don't have a family doctor? Put up your hands. There you go. All these hands, people without family doctors, yet we have thousands upon thousands of qualified doctors who come here from other countries specifically to practice medicine, but who are blocked by provincial regulatory gatekeepers. So my plan is to incentivize the provinces to get professional and trades bodies to more quickly recognize the credentials of newcomers, to give them an answer within 60 days, so that a doctor can be a doctor, an engineer can be an engineer, a mechanic can be a mechanic, and we can have a stronger economy with bigger paychecks for all of our people. We're going to remove the gatekeepers who try to control what you see and say online. We need free speech in this country. Trudeau says we need bureaucrats to regulate the internet. We have 38 million internet regulators in this country. They're called Canadian citizens. There's one right there. There she is. They should have the freedom to decide what they see and say online. They should be able to decide through clicks of their fingers, not cliques in Ottawa. So I will repeal the anti-free speech laws, Bill C-11 and C-36, to put you back in charge. My platform as Prime Minister to stand up for free speech in this country, across this country, and against this new, hyper-politically correct woke movement. Are there any woke folk here? The woke movement is about dividing people, right? Turning people against each other. They seek to divide Canadians along the lines of race, gender, and now vaccine status. It's the oldest technique in the book, my friends. It's divide and conquer. And that is what this Prime Minister has done from the very beginning. He's divided East against West. He's divided vaccinated against unvaccinated. Ever since his early days when we saw his ugly racist past, his ugly racist conduct as a younger man, he has tried to divide people along racial lines his entire life. We need to do exactly the opposite of that, my friends. We in this country believe in equality and freedom, and that freedom unites every single one of us, regardless of race or sexuality or gender or vaccination. so in the words of the great Prime Minister John Diefenbaker, when he signed our Bill of Rights, he said, I'm a Canadian, a free Canadian, free to speak without fear, free to stand for what I think right, free to oppose what I believe wrong, free to worship God in my own way, free to choose those who shall govern my country. It is this freedom that I pledge to uphold for myself and for all of mankind. Thank you very much.